right?
Something like that.
Oh, don't do that to me, brother.
I did that to you. Welcome back, everybody, to Beyond the ToolBelt, episode 300. I'm your host, Ty Cobb Backer, and thank you for joining us on this Wednesday edition. Stay tuned, and we will be back after our short intro from our sponsors. TC Backer. Roofing, siding, windows, gutter, solar. Roofing, siding, windows, gutter, solar. TC Backer.
Is your lead flow down? Whether you're a company owner, office staff, salesperson, or installer, you're a roofing rock star. We help you get more leads with custom SEO, Google Ads, and a pro website.
Welcome to Behind the ToolBelt, where the stories are bold, the conversations are real, and the insights come to you live, raw, and uncut. Every week, host Ty Cobb Backer sits down to bring you the stories, the struggles, the lessons learned, and the wins. No filters, no scripts, just the truth. Please welcome your host of Behind the ToolBelt, Ty Cobb Backer.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to Beyond the ToolBelt. Today is officially episode 300. 300 episodes.
Wow.
I know. It's crazy. It is. It's crazy. You know, and what's even crazier about all this is, man, we've done so many podcasts. We haven't even counted. Now,
wait, that 300 doesn't include, that's not all of them.
That's not all of them. Now, this is our weekly.
The 300 is the weekly.
Weekly.
You're not counting when you were at shows.
Yep, exactly.
Craziness, dragging the whole set around.
Across the country, all over the place, and interviewing tons of people. Great conversations across the country. I mean, just, and here, and our guest, you know, that have came on here. And, you know, we started the show. It was just an idea. And it was a way for us to promote our charity events, to share what we are learning about roofing, construction, leadership, and life. And now here we are at episode 300. 300 episodes later with listeners from all over the country and probably some people, you know, all over the world. Incredible guest, a community that has grown bigger than I would have ever imagined. You know, this show it's never been about roofs or roofing. I mean, we used to promote, you know, we'd have gutter week and stuff like that when we were running out of content, and it started to take hold and things were different. Algorithms, the reach was a lot further and we could reach a lot more people, and it's always been organic. And, you know, it's always been about people, the people, you know. Few years ago, we started to pivot more into, you know, personal development and leadership and building teams, building communities. And that's what we talk about today mostly. And not just building roofs, but, you know, building people. And, you know, today, you know, man, I can't even believe how consistent, you know, we've been with this. And it goes back to, you know, the Shane DeGarry days. Chris, you were there.
Yeah, I was like show 5 or something in Shane's basement. I mean, it was early.
Yeah.
It was early. That show we talked about
sports.
Well, yeah, and how it
coaching.
Yeah. But it's been a lot. It's fun to watch. Like, it's become part of my repertoire. I think I just told you earlier that, like, driving around, listening to things, some of the nonsense that goes on, other stuff. It's kind of nice to have something that's a little be able to reflect on that's a little more local or has a little more feel that is directly it's more intentional to me.
Yeah.
Right? Not only because I was there with you, but you guys are friends and our businesses kind of have
grown together.
Yeah. And so it has a little more, and I'm more intentional about watching it and listening to it.
Yeah. And it's funny you talk about intentionality, because I feel like we've gotten a lot more intentional about our topics and stuff. And there were some episodes where it was all just a bunch of grab ass. And I think a lot of that was just because we were running out of content, and things to talk about. And I think we were afraid to repeat things and stuff like that. And the more that I've dove into this, and of course it has helped build me tremendously. It has helped me become a better listener, a better interviewer, better father, better parent, better partner, husband, from a lot of our guests, and Chris, you played a huge part in all that stuff that I just mentioned too, because of our, we're not communicating as much as we used to, but there used to be a daily, we'd exchange books, titles and authors and things like that. And that have helped me grow. And I talk about those books a lot on here still. I still read them like a yearly thing, the John Gordon books and the Patrick Lenciani's I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. And because of me wanting to be a better podcaster, it has forced me and pushed me, to study more, to learn, to continue to keep learning and push myself. And usually today, anyhow, when we do a podcast, it's usually right where I'm at. What am I learning? What am I studying right now? What have I, discovered? And I get excited about wanting to share that with people. And it is also, I believe, helped, concrete and galvanize our culture here at TC Backer. And Brian said to me the other day, Brian Good said he must have told Lee manages our Greenville location. If you ever want to know where Ty is in his head and what he's going through, just listen to one of his podcasts. And it's cool that our team members have jumped on this train and really help push us and promote this thing. And they were our biggest viewers and still are today our biggest fans. A lot of the people in this building today. And since we've started this, we've all opened up multiple locations, and now the reach. And I hope not just for our team, but for anybody listening to this, I'm hoping that we're making an impact on somebody's life. And like you said, Chris, it's, the reminders. And I don't mind repeating myself, certain taglines or, comments week after week, because I know for me, when I'm listening or reading, especially the podcast, if I'm listening to somebody and it could be Ed Milet, it could be, Pedro Coolian, it could be anybody. And I've noticed by listening to them and me trying to take up some of their technique and create my own technique too. So I'm studying other podcasters, other speakers and how, but more importantly, my point is that they tend to repeat themselves. They'll say things week over week and maybe not every week, but I'm grateful that they did, because I could have been doing something. I could have been distracted. I didn't understand what it meant the first time that I heard it. So I don't get so hemmed up on repeating myself, especially if it's something that I really want to emphasize, or if it falls along the lines of my principles and my values, and
that goes for books too, Ty. So like
right.
in your car, right?
Yeah.
So, I haven't listened to this book a while, and you can kind of go through each chapter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to one and you're like, hold on a second, let me go back. Let me listen to that one again.
Yes. I do that.
I do it a ton. And but it's great to have those resources to go back to.
Mm-hmm.
I think for all of us, it's a change. I think the last time I was here, we talked about the change in our business and us. You moved into a new building. I moved into a new building. There was processes and procedures. How are we going to do this?
Mm-hmm.
And then it comes to this first time in my new building where I thought, man, we're finally going, or you're like, we're finally going, and tariffs hit, or the market kind of changes, or something like that.
COVID.
Well, for you,
yeah.
Are you in here, COVID?
Not yet, but we had purchased it. I think. I'm pretty sure we had purchased it.
I was in my building in January of 22. So it was kind of after still the,
Mm-hmm.
but I think like now, every time I come in here, it's always at a different part.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've had to reevaluate my role, because if we do things right, the other people are going to do that.
Yep.
And then you're looking at the vision or
Mm-hmm.
the health of the company.
Yeah.
Whatever. It still hurts me when we lose clients,
Of course.
and it still hurts me. Like, and I'm happy when we get one back or there's something new to keep you excited, but,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it still hurt. It changes, like the readings and all that stuff haven't changed. You just might go back to them.
Yeah. Well, and that's why there's certain books that I read yearly. I'll read it again, again this year.
Right.
And there's been books, especially those books that I read on a yearly basis. I'll read them again, like right afterwards.
Right.
I'll either listen to it, read it. I always buy a hard copy.
Do you really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Just about every book that I've ever purchased on, through Apple Books or whatever, I also purchased a hard copy of it too, because especially if it's something that I need to study. And right now I'm going through two books right now. One's a John Maxwell book and another one is by Philip Hum. Now you can't listen to him. No, I don't think any of his stuff is online for you to be able to listen to, but I'm okay with that too. And I got Post-it notes in it, and
Yeah.
it's about storytelling, learning how to, speak better, but
Right.
using stories,
To define your message.
yes, to
Yeah.
define my message and stuff like that. And I found that, and little did I know, I already did that. I caught myself a few times. Like I tell stories to get people to relate or to listen better, or so they can understand the message that, I'm trying to relay to them. But I'm being more intentional about it. And it's funny how you can take so many of life lessons in my personal life. Like I shared something with the team the other day. It was something that Jana and I got to experience together. And she asked me, what do you think of it? How do you feel? And my first instinct was to say that this sucks, because it was something different. It was change. And I don't like change, whether it's good or whether it's bad. Most of us, all of us don't, whether you've identified that or not, but nobody likes change. So my first instinct, and I almost said it, this sucks, but I didn't. I said to her, I was like, it's different. And she kind of looked at me, not confused, but more of a, like, okay, that's fair. Look, I didn't take the wind out of her sails.
Right.
So my point is, I'm trying to be more intentional with how I think and the words that I use. Okay.
What's that book, Ty? And I think we've read it. They're in one of the books that we talk about. He talks about, and it might have been Greg Groeschel, but when when one of your employees walks up to you,
Yeah.
to show them, even if you have no clue what's coming,
Yeah.
to show them that you care.
Mm-hmm.
It's, well, what would you do?
Yeah.
Or how would you handle this
Yeah.
situation?
Right. Yeah.
First.
Yeah.
And
Craig Groeschel.
Craig Groeschel.
Yeah.
Yeah. He says that all the
Yeah,
time. They
all the
walk
time.
up all the time. When they walk up to you,
You decide. If they come to you with a problem or a situation or something that they are asking you, because we've conditioned people to go through us for everything. Okay. In the beginning,
we've never conditioned them to use
think on their own.
right.
Yeah.
So now they're going to think about, so now if you continue to ask that question, his point is they'll constantly walk up to you ready to give you an answer.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And it allows you time to pause.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's something, back to what you've been talking about. It's something I try to do
Mm-hmm.
more now.
Yeah.
Or the other one is, where are we at in the situation?
Yeah.
And hearing, if two people walk up to you, say, this is going on,
Mm-hmm.
and you say, where are we at in the situation? And one describes it, the other one will add on to it. So you get the full picture.
Mm-hmm.
Really crazy.
Yeah.
It just, and
and you can't develop that skill 1 year into ownership, 1 year into a management position. These are things that come in time.
Yeah.
You know, when people ask, like, are there born leaders? I don't know if the answer is actually yes. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that you can't be born with certain qualities, but until you gain the experience,
Right.
do you truly really develop that leadership ability? And know why? Because not everybody's fit for leadership, you know, unless you are okay with, you know, I have arrived, I'm entitled, you know, I don't have to work as hard, you know, and there are, and then the selfishness part of that. Okay. But the true meaning, okay, is that this is no longer about you. This is never this, you know, if you're going to be a good leader, a true leader, this is no longer, now you're not killing what you eat anymore.
Right.
Okay. You're relying on a team to kill for you to eat.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you can make that pivot, change your mindset, okay, and realize that it's because of everyone else. And I need to provide the resources, the tools, the attitude, the momentum to keep it on the rails. And it can be the most rewarding job there ever was. It can be the most loneliest job that there ever was.
So let me add to that,
Go for it.
because it's really deep what you just talked about. But let me just add to that. In a situation that's happening for my daughter, 16-year-old girl, plays on a field hockey team, starts, does very well.
Mhm.
Yesterday, her coach is I'm going to say younger,
Mhm.
but the coach is in a frustrating situation because the team that she counted on now has some injuries. Right.
Mhm.
So that situation for me, and I'm going to do me now,
Mhm.
not me 2 or 3 years ago,
Yeah.
but me now, that situation for me. And by the way, my wife would say, no way. She doesn't believe a thing I
Yeah.
say, but the situation to me, I would look at it and go, okay, great. Now I have to play some younger players that would be put in a spot that had never been put in before.
Mhm.
Okay. So I can't go in and go, woe is me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's got to be, hey, listen, when the back's against the wall, right? This is when you're going to do your best work.
Mhm.
I'm going to help you because I have to be stronger leader for you. You're just going to have to do your best, and you're going to have to learn on the fly.
Mhm.
And we're going to have some things that'll be hard in this situation.
Yep.
Instead, it's, I can't believe, I'm so upset, you guys aren't playing hard. Well, that's not going to get them to do any better.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
It's not. So the looking at the situation, right? Like you just said, you look at the situation, and whether you ask a question up front or you step back and go, okay, bunch of young people, they've never been in war together.
Yeah.
Right. So you're asking a freshman now to go play. Right. You can challenge that person, but you can't walk in and be like, what are you doing?
Mhm.
They're going to be like, I've never been here before. And you're like, oh yeah,
That's right.
you're right.
Mhm.
Right. So now at my shop, what I try to do is there's some things that's easier for them to watch me do.
Mhm.
So if I'm calling Ty, I just wanted to give you a call out. A couple of things going on. First of all, really appreciate the order.
Mhm.
I have a couple concerns that are going to be a real big challenge for us, and go down that road. So I do that in front of those in the industry that are younger.
Yeah.
So now I have less and less of me picking up the phone. So now I'll ask the question, did you pick up the phone?
Mhm.
Did you talk to them on the phone?
Yeah.
Because how you sent that through that email or whatever is different.
Yeah.
Than if I call Ty, he's going to get the vibe of how I feel or
Right.
what this is. He's going to know if right. So all of these things that you just talked about, getting the information,
Yeah.
listening to it,
Yeah.
right? And then
and you're not born with that confidence to pick that phone up. That is a skill that you've had to learn and develop over time to grow the courage to pick that phone up.
well, for some, it's easier than others.
Yeah.
Can we say
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Can we agree on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it doesn't scare my son Garrison to pick up the phone, but
Yeah.
the 2 inside people that work with Garrison,
Yeah.
it's a challenge. Oh, what if they say this? Because
sometimes that phone is really heavy.
Very. It's like picking 1,000 pounds off the floor or off the desk.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
especially when you know, and I know you've had these situations where you've had to make the hard call.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And those are times where I say to the sales reps for the department, or even for someone like me,
Mm-hmm.
I'll make that call.
Yeah.
They might scream and yell, and I'll never use you again. You know, and you know, we have a client that we're going to lose here that won't come back this year because of situations that happened last year. Can't fix it, but we can change it. We can learn from it.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And we're not going to die from it. I think that's the first thing, Ty, everybody thinks. Oh my God.
Yeah.
What's going to happen?
Yeah.
Hey, listen, we'll be here next year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Just gotta
And it actually makes you better. That in the errors and the mistakes or losses is where I always say the SOPs get developed.
Yep.
That's where, you find the gaps and deficiencies, and unfortunately through pain comes growth.
Right.
So yes, there will be a little bit of pain, but you are going to be so much better because of that pain.
Let me tell you another story at my office. So we implemented where, like, if you want to build a store, like you have a corporate store, you want to build a store, we go in and we put it on. Mason, my son, built this platform. You put all the information in, it goes to the coordinator. The coordinator then disperses it to the person that builds the store. And it also goes on the sales reps. So they know everything, where it's going, who's working on it, all that. We wanted to do that for art. Well, the people in the office came back to me and said, love the store one. And we understand that you're trying to make this easy. This isn't going to work for this one. And you know what? I believed them because everything they told me with the first store was absolutely spot on. They told me the changes. They told me how it should be set up, told me what to do with it, how it's going to help them. Now, some people still don't like to type. They expect to just send an email and somebody else decipher it.
Right.
And that can't be like that.
No.
So, that's where our trust and belief in them, I've seen it in you a lot, Ty, like, and maybe those that work for you, they probably understand it, but they see it I see it from a different world about you.
Yeah.
Like I see, like you tell me exactly. For them, we don't want to tell them. They should it's an understanding. Right. But to me, so it's, that's another thing. People think, like, there's people out there that think you're a jerk. They never met you.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
I've had people I'm friends with now 25 years, and they're like, man, I used to think you were the biggest jerk.
Yeah.
But that's because we try to be more intentional.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I like that to get back to that, the coach and the younger players moving up through. So what I was alluding to with that situation Jana and I were doing, it was a wonderful situation that we were in. But why I chose to use the word different was because, one, I didn't want to take the wind out of her sail. So I got to be very intentional with the words that I use when I'm trying to
valid point,
articulate a message to somebody or vibe. I don't want to ruin the vibe. This is a good vibe here. Like it should be. And I know it should be, but I wanted to say it sucked. Okay. So that's huge. Words can impact other people around me. So I need to choose my words better. Plus, I don't want to sound childish. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean this sucks? It sounds like 12-year-old
lay
kid.
on the ground and
Right. But more importantly was for myself, because if I would have just went right to this sucks, then I barricaded myself to actually see the potential that this could have. Right. I'd already shut myself off by saying this sucks, because now I got to hold up this persona of like, yeah, I'm pissed, I'm upset, I'm frustrated. And how long am I going to ride that out?
Well, there's no army with you in that one.
You know what I mean? So, but I gave myself the opportunity, and later on, she asked me too. She's like, what do you think now? And I was still, but my enthusiasm was a little bit different that time when I said, it's different.
But did your mind change too?
Yes.
So
it really did. I could start seeing the benefits, because I didn't say it sucked.
Because then you had to defend it.
Yes.
Right.
Because I would
That
have
goes
to
back to my army thing.
Right.
Like you have no army with you at
Yes,
that point,
no.
and then everything's on your shoulders.
Yes.
And you got to defend it.
Yeah. So I was grateful. Could I have used a better word or feeling or emotion? Yes. But the best I could come up with at that time is that it's different because I know she knows me and we both get each other. So when I say it's different, that means I'm okay. I'm going to get through this and I will see the light at the end of the tunnel. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So when
But
and
the
then the third
analogy-
time she asked me, I was like, this is effing amazing.
Right.
Right. And within a short period of time, it wasn't days that went by. We're talking hours, minutes that had passed where I was still open enough to like look around and be like, that's going to be awesome. I'm going to have to figure it out. I'm going to have to study. It looked like work at first. That's why it was different. It was change. And I was going to have to put a little bit of work in.
God forbid.
Yeah. But I was like, nope, oh, wow. I figured this out. That does this too. Like I kept the paradigm open. I didn't close the door,
Let me tell you what it did to me. Just you telling me the story right here.
What's that?
I felt the pressure when you said that sucks.
Yeah.
I felt it. Just you telling me the story.
No doubt. So I used that scenario as a story,
Right.
to keep an open mind and choose your words right. And I the full transparency, vulnerability. I wanted to be so vulnerable to my team. Okay. Like I'm not perfect. There was a whole bunch of crazy shit that was going through my head too. But because I said it was different, it gave us both an opportunity. It kept our minds open. I didn't close my mind to this sucks. I'm going to take my ball and I'm going to go home because I don't want to put the work in.
So you had bandwidth.
Yes.
You had bandwidth to slow the process down.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to actually smell the roses.
Correct.
Like actually smell the roses here. I didn't start off being a dick because like I would have to be a dick for the rest of the day. Then,
Yeah.
it didn't ruin.
I never even thought about it like that. Then all of a sudden you got to be an asshole.
I got to be an asshole all day
Because I don't like that.
because I don't like it. And then you shouldn't like it either. What do you mean you fucking like it? I don't like it. Why are you so happy?
Then you're fighting your own war.
totally.
You're like,
And
I
I've
thought
done
you-
that.
I thought you were on my side. No.
I've done that,
Yeah.
and I don't want to be that. So, and there's other ways that I can use different words to sometimes to help people understand what it is, the point or the process or the directions better too. You know what I mean? And getting back to the podcast, dude, I don't know if I would have learned that without the podcast and listening to other guests and having great people speak to me. And I have to listen to what you're saying because I gotta either follow up with another question that is following up with what you just, you know what I mean? So like I've become a better listener.
Your better interviews. Okay. Early on in this process,
Yeah.
you were looking for the next question.
Yes. It's tough to still listen to what you're saying and look for the next question.
Yeah, but I think now you're better at that question
It just comes natural. now.
It comes by itself.
Yes.
Okay. Where you were force feeding,
Yes.
Yeah.
Or I was actually I tried writing out questions in hope that I could direct the conversation.
You're not that type of person.
Yeah. Direct the conversation down a rabbit hole that I thought we should. And sometimes I can, and sometimes I have to. That's the other thing too. When I've had dry people on the show already, and it's like, I'm pulling things out of them.
I'm not one of them.
Absolutely not.
Okay. All right.
No.
Well, I was just wondering where you were going with that.
No.
Vic,
No.
write that down.
No, there was a reason why I wanted you on here. And honestly, there was, a couple people and more that I thought about it this week has gotten away from me. I can't believe it's Wednesday already. We should have had a round table like me, you, David.
You talked about that the last time we were
Chris
here.
Baker.
Yep.
Because we can't, and I never have, nor will I, forget about Chris Baker. When I asked him to go to Shane DeGarry, he did not hesitate to go in this dude's basement.
You
with
talked
us.
about that the last time we were here.
Really?
Yeah. And you know what? And shame on me for not being a good friend to bring that up because we had said
Mhm.
one of the good ideas was get everybody together and talk about where that's going. 'Cause, obviously Chris isn't in your show, but I still think he probably watches.
Absolutely. I'm
Yeah.
sure he does.
And
he's just 25 feet
well,
away
then he
from
better
us.
be working if he's watching.
Yeah, he
right?
better be working.
Yeah.
He better be learning something.
Guess what? I'm getting a text. Is my phone ringing yet?
Yeah, she's probably blown up now. But Yes, but I've learned so much from this podcast, and the power of consistency is probably my biggest takeaway. Okay, of staying consistent. The discipline of showing up week after week after week after week, 300 times, 300 weeks in a row, no matter where we were in the country, in the world, hospital beds, funerals, however I felt, the world was against me, weighing on me, some days still, but getting through and still suiting up and showing up, has taught me to be consistent, not just in business, but in life.
Well, isn't that what we teach? Okay. So let me say it this way. Isn't that what we try to instill in everybody? So, a friend of mine used to go speak at high school, and he used to tell them, get yourself an alarm clock. That's 90% of the problem.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You were talking about people showing up,
Yeah.
all of that. So there's a lot of things. The consistency is the alarm clock,
Yeah.
getting up, doing the same thing. We're creatures of habit.
Isn't that the truth?
Right. So create the right habits. And Eric Brewer, who says that? There's another guy that talks about it, but Brewer used to say that was initially when Eric really started going down that road.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you create the right habits, right?
Yeah.
It changes, like working out.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to work out.
Yeah.
How many times on your 40 for 40 or whatever did you go, I am not?
Then that's why we do that, for the accountability purpose of it, to create those good habits, to get rid of the bad habits and replace them with good habits.
Right.
Okay. And after 44 days, it's like, and I think some people think there's going to be this complete 100% transformation. I am going to be a spiritual guru. I have lost 40 pounds. I got abs of steel. It just, that's not going to happen in 44 days.
How quick do you think some people drop some of that stuff right away?
Well, it's just like New Year's resolutions. Okay. What's that average? The first week, people get the gym, gym memberships a day.
Yeah.
A week, maybe. I mean, 7 episodes is podcast. Most people might do 7 episodes. That's it. That's the average for a podcast, that's the thing. And that could go down a complete different rabbit hole on the,
I was wondering where you were going with that.
Not being consistent and following up and following through. But starting this thing, I never thought that it was going to be 300 episodes into it and involved into what it is today.
But the consistency, following up and following through, right? Holding people accountable. Listen, I'm sure there's other people and some that are sitting in the room right now that probably held you accountable.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean we're not doing the podcast?
Yeah.
Or what do you mean we're not doing
There
this?
was one time a few months ago, Vic and I were talking about not doing this on a week-to-week basis. I had him convinced it was a good idea. I really did. Because we need to market more for TC Backer. We need to do let's fill that time slot with more productive things. And let's record some things and we can put some other content out there. Just let me run my mouth for an hour, record it, put it out there.
I remember you guys talking about that.
Yeah. Yeah. And you probably thought it was a great idea too.
Well, I said, listen, man, you said about I drive around in my truck. How you told it to me was I drive around and I get all these ideas. So I'm just going to start video them in the car, or I'm going to stop and videotape my thoughts or talk my thoughts into the phone.
Right.
And that's going to be my podcast.
Yeah. So we were going to start, and we do other things too, but we were on our way back from Greenville, South Carolina. We were sitting in the parking lot. It was a bad week. It had been, and I don't even know how long we were down there for. We were on our way back and it was a Wednesday, and we were like, we're going to do it. No, we're not going to do it. So however long, we were halfway back. It's about a 9-hour drive. So for about 4.5 hours, I was mentally masturbating myself over.
What a great term. All right.
I'm going to do this. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm not going to do this. And I'm probably talking out loud to myself at this point in time. And there's Vic in the passenger seat. And I was like, I can't not do this. Like, what is my excuse? Because we're driving? Shit, I've been on fucking cargo ships. I've been in airports. I've been everywhere and have done these podcasts.
You did one in a car.
In closets.
You did one in a car, right?
Yeah.
Or is that the one you're talking about?
That's probably the one that we're talking. It's like, so Vic broke the what was the
GoPro
out, stuck it to the freaking thing, even though you couldn't see half my head because sun visor was in the way. Yeah,
but you did it.
Hindsight's 2020. Like I looked, it took me like probably a month after seeing it 3 times. Like, fuck, the sun visor was cutting my head off, but we did it. I was like, dude, what was I thinking? Like, what excuses? And you know, and that's the thing. Like, none of like the imperfections that they would have ruined the momentum. There was many times that I didn't think it was worth doing it anymore. No one's getting anything out of it. You know, and I think I was really making it about myself. I go through ebbs and flows. And that's the thing when I was talking about leadership, like this is no longer about me. There are people that listen to this show live and on the replay and look forward to whether it's someone that works here or somebody across the country that actually looks forward to listen. If Ed Milet said, I'm going to cut back. Okay. And I'm not even putting myself in that arena of like, because that the impact that dude has.
Right.
Okay. I would be upset
at him.
I would feel left down.
Yeah.
Right. And
Joe Rogan.
Right. Any of them, all of them, you know, to have made it this far and then to come up with a lame ass excuse of I'm too busy and I don't feel well. And I remember pacing back and forth in my office. Like today would be that day where I would not do this because I don't feel good. I'm running 103 temperature.
Right now you are?
No. I'm just saying to myself because I've been in that situation where I'm pacing back and forth in my office. Like today would be the day I could come. I know my excuse would be good enough and everybody would understand, but I still did it.
Right.
I just did it because, and really there was been times that I've just done it because it's uncomfortable.
Right.
I'm going to push through this uncomfortability.
Right.
Right. And I said to Vic too, around that time frame, like, when is this shit going to actually get comfortable? And I think his response to me was never.
Yeah.
Get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah. And you know, I say that to my players, my lacrosse players. Our goal is to be comfortable in the uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And when we play other teams, now that we get comfortable in this uncomfortable and we make them uncomfortable, we're more comfortable with it.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's a tongue tie.
Yeah. Listen, and the consistency stacks up.
Yep.
Okay. It builds momentum. It builds trust. People start to expect it. Right. And I'm talking about life.
Right.
This was a huge life turning, changing point for me.
Right.
It truly was, because now I'm not being consistent. And what message? And that's the thing. It's like, I know a lot of eyes are on me, you know, and I bust people balls about being part-time. Hey, part-time, where you at? You know, Mark Jones is one of them. I know he's far from a part-time, but hey, part-timer.
But most of the time you'll say that to people that you know aren't.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you know that.
Right.
That just grinds.
Because they grind as hard as I do.
Yeah.
So I'm busting your chops.
Yeah.
You know,
hey, you've texted me, what golf course am I at? I didn't appreciate it, by the way.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to be on the golf course at that point.
And I do.
You know what I mean, Vic? Like he was like trying to just bust my chops.
Yeah.
I was 2 hours later. I was at the golf course, by the way. I just want to make that point known.
Mm-hmm. That's another topic. But you know, it's consistency isn't flashy. You know, for me, we talk about stacking wins, you know, and you need to stack consistency, you know, and you don't see the results. Like for the longest time, we didn't see results from any of this. And still, it's not even about like how many viewers, like this is still organic today. Mm-hmm. We might have, I don't know, maybe 10, 12 people watching right now. Mm-hmm. 11. Okay. I'm no Ed Milet. But those 11 people probably have been watching from, half of them are probably been watching since episode 50. Okay. Half of them have probably been watching since we went live today. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And because of that consistency, okay, that's one less promise that I broke today to myself. You know, it's stacking those wins. And if I would have did that day, and I almost did not go live on a Wednesday. Okay. Now we have had to adjust the schedule, but there hasn't been a week because early on, I think it was Tuesday nights we used to do this.
We did it on Tuesday. When we were changed, it was It was a Tuesday or a Thursday.
Yeah, something. It was Tuesday or Thursdays. I think it
Yeah.
was Thursday.
Because he had something going on some other day.
Yeah,
or
and
something.
I think it went from Thursdays to Tuesdays for a little bit, and then I think Vic and I had some commitments, some outside commitments that we did on Tuesdays or decided that we were going to do, and it had to do with personal development. So it was kind of like, I don't want to say it was a sacrifice, but it was like, you know what, let's do it on Wednesdays. It's the middle of the week, and then we switched our times.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
It used to be in the evening.
yeah.
And you can do it in the afternoon. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't have to go in the evening.
No, and before where I was, the seasons that I was in, there would have been no way I could do it at 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
There would have been no way.
You're further down the road.
Yeah.
Let's say it like that.
Yeah. There would have. Now this is thrown into my day to day. This is part of what I do on my work day.
Right.
Yeah. Which is kind of cool that the team has allowed me to design the way that I lead this way.
Well, but more importantly, that they probably realize this is beneficial for you. Hell, anybody's going to take this any way they want. They're either going to say you're a selfish pig that just wants to sit in front of a camera all the time, or some of them are going to say this is your therapy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like my therapy, in a sense, that started to slow me down was when I really looked back where we were or where we came from.
Yeah.
You know, and it came from what my boys, you know, and even like my wife, they would be like, hey, you're from here. So that was like my change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Your change was that point where you're like, I want to shut this down. No, I'm not shutting this down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know, good for you.
Yeah.
Being intentional.
Yeah.
You know, I tell you all the time because I text you now. I haven't been every day, but being intentional. But you should do this with intentionality, right? Right, Ty? So when you do a show, like, hey, listen, I'm doing the show and I want to make sure it's, you know, to be intentional about it. So when you called me, it was like, yeah, I want to do this. I haven't seen Ty in a while. He's been busy. I've been busy. Okay. If I got to be on the show for us to have a good discussion, I'm going to come on the show.
Right.
You know?
Yes. No. And David Bruno, he's like, yes, it was on Tuesday nights. You know, being there and with a blizzard outside, the show must go on. Like we went through all kinds of shit. We've had floods come through the studio and we still filmed. We had the power
that was down off of
Canal.
Yeah.
You came out dressed up like Santa Claus, you know, on Christmas, our Christmas episodes, they're always special.
You know, I still don't like it.
And the other special ones that I really like too is our 21 Turkey Salute one.
Yeah.
I don't do much that day.
Right.
I kind of let Pastor Joel Baker and whoever else is there.
That's going on this year too.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, and make it special for them too, because and you know, and some of the guests that we've had, Elizabeth Casadilla. Okay. Her first time she came on, I think it was the first time that she came on. She's an entrepreneur. Her business is a big shout out to Business 411. She helps businesses write SOPs, marketing, branding, just a true grinder and entrepreneur. I mean, she is but she came on and told us her story.
Yeah.
Her life story of, like, you know, how they got over here from Cuba and what she went through with her mom, you know, single mom raising her and you know, just it's giving me goosebumps right now.
It's giving me goosebumps right now.
You know, and,
like,
I know, and there's a lot of people that haven't been able to get to hear that about her, and they look at her today and she's very successful. Okay.
Right.
And they think it must be nice. You know, it must be nice, but we gave her a platform to share with us, and it was emotional. I mean, it was so good, and it'll always stick with me. And the people that have came on here, I have learned so much, not just about them, but from them. And consistency, and that goes into any successful at anything. I don't care if it's sports, your health, your wealth, your spirituality. It's something you can't do once in a while. Consistency is about stacking and stacking, even when you don't see the results. Especially when you don't feel like working out, is when I know I have to work out.
That's the most important time.
That is the most important time.
Yes.
You know, and that's where consistency and building those daily habits, you know, and knowing what it feels like to break those promises to yourself. time and time and time and time and time again. And what that has done to me over the years, okay, emotionally,
What to walk away?
to break all those promises.
Yeah. To
You know,
yourself.
yes. You
Yeah.
know, and that was already eating at me on that drive up from Greenville that day when I decided that we weren't going to do the podcast today, that day, whatever it was.
So you were breaking all the stuff, all the promises you made to yourself.
I was running all this through my
But you didn't
head.
think of that because earlier in the conversation, you didn't say that. You didn't say that was what was on your mind. Like it broke it. But after you probably did it, then you're like, how could I do that to myself?
Probably. Yeah.
Right.
Why would I even think that?
Yeah. What
We got a 9-hour drive, bro. Go live. What, you know what I mean? It's just the excuses
that was Vic talking to you, bro.
Probably.
I'm gonna stick this camera on your forehead.
He said, I knew you were going to do it. I knew you were going to do it. And he wasn't going to let me not do it. Honestly, he already had the GoPro set up. Before I even got in the truck that morning, he was already in the truck and had everything wired up.
Listen, we know who runs this joint.
Yes, no doubt.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, and the support, okay, from Chris Baker, Vic, Mike Ippy, the conversations that we had behind the mic, the hours that we would, the hour before the show, and the conversations the hour or 2 or 3 after the show, like when you would come out to the studio, the growth that happened at those times.
Well, it was from laughs, right? So we would be I tend to think that laughing is healing.
Mhm.
So every time we come to a show, we'd laugh after and giggle.
Man, I would feel so much better after.
Oh
the show,
yeah, it
but
was like
did
like,
it.
wow.
We
You know?
did it. We did
Yeah,
it.
we did it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, by the way, that shit was funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Yes.
where did that come from? I don't know. I just asked you the question.
right.
But that's where it's like family vacations where you just jump in a car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what this is, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
just jump in a car and start going.
Right.
Where are we going? I know.
Have no idea.
I have no idea.
What are we talking about?
But
I don't know yet.
I don't know.
You know how we get down. That's what we're talking about.
That's it.
Yeah.
We'll start something will come up that we'll start talking
for sure.
about.
And usually it's about where we're at. Like you share an experience that you recently or in the past year have gone through it at work and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what I think people like about this the most, is the true authenticity, because unfortunately or fortunately, you see what you get here. You know what I mean? I've been jacked up. I've been down low. I've not felt well, and I think that pulls that out of people and why they feel so comfortable too. When Elizabeth came on or when you come on, because I'm not any different off the mic.
No.
You know what I mean? We'll go in my office. We'll chop it up for probably 10, 15, 20 minutes, and it's just, I'm,
if you were any different on the mic, I probably wouldn't say anything, which, I got to talk.
no doubt.
So, but if you were any different, it would be like, who is that guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's what makes me come back. It makes me come back. I mean, obviously support, and I like being on here with you because I think you totally put your mind into it. So it's very intriguing to me, right? It helps me and helps me layer up, as I call it.
Yeah.
And go from there.
Yeah, I love Behind the Tool Belt. It has done so much for me, and I hope it has, because this was never a selfish thing. If it was, we never did it. We would have never done this. You know what I mean? Because I'm terrified.
Right.
Terrified. I still get nervous. Now, I do other things too that make this seem like this isn't so terrifying, like any type of public speaking. Last week, I had the opportunity to speak at an event to other entrepreneurs not in our industry. And of course, when you know it, they had me as the last speaker. It was the first keynote headliner. I guess you could consider they didn't come out and say.
But you were the last person to talk.
Yeah, I was the last person.
And you're sitting there going.
And he said, I'm going to start and I'm going to fire it up, but we need you to finish it because we need them fired up before they leave. And I was like, oh, shit. And I didn't know that till that morning.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I come back from something like that. This is freaking easy peasy. You know what I mean? But that will wear off eventually where it's kind of like, Vic, man, I don't know. Shit, man. He's like, dude, shut up. You're fine. Yeah. You'll do good.
What's something you haven't had on the show or something in the area that you haven't had on the show that you think should be on the show or have wanted to have the show, you just haven't reached out and asked?
Is it somebody or
So,
something?
whatever.
Well, I can tell you this. There's a few people that I would love to have on the show or even get on their show. I don't want to say just come on our show, but I would love to be on Ed Milet's show or have him come on our show.
Yeah.
And Vic did actually reach out to John Maxwell.
Awesome.
And the answer wasn't no. There was just some things he wanted me to do first, which
Wow.
I have been.
Awesome.
Yeah. He wants to make sure, we're supporting what they're doing over there too. And not just some random dude off the street jibber jabbering all the time. So there's that, but there's one thing that I always wanted us to do. And we called it the Smash Lab. We wanted to test tools and products and stuff, like throw hammers through windows and, if it's hurricane proof glass or something like that, like I'll break it.
So I'm sure Vic would have been on every week.
Yeah. We have that corner of the studio still built, and that's still not out of the question. And there are some big things coming.
Yeah.
The next 300, we're not staying stagnant. There's, we've changed as we grow, the show has grown, and we do have a lot of things on the horizon for this. And one of them, and I'll put this out there because we may have mentioned it before, but we want to host our own event.
What type of it?
Like the event that I just came from.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It wasn't a bunch of people. It will be more geared towards roofing contractors, people in our space, exterior contracting. But it's a lot like where we just came from, what Janet and I just got to experience, is what I want to do, something like that. And it's a behind the tool belt thing. We're not going to make it a TC Backer thing. We're not going to make it, it's going to be a behind the tool belt event. That'll probably happen in 2026. And again, so
you're already starting to do some of the things that you really wanted to accomplish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coaching. I want to coach more contractors in our space.
Yeah.
I want to do more of that. And what this podcast has actually made me do, I do a lot of research and I study a lot of things, and I have a lot of stuff that I could already share with other people. I actually have it documented. I've gotten a lot of stuff out of here and put onto paper for personal development, for, or just complete organization of a company, organizational health. So there's 3 pillars, right? There's so many. I run things in 3s. I like to call them the trifectas. Okay. So 3 pillars would be purpose, okay, ownership, and organizational health. Okay. Those are your 3 pillars. Sales, the trifecta in sales, right? You want to repeat customers, okay, reviews, and what's the other R? It's 3 R's: repeat, reviews, and referrals. Okay. The other 3, and
is it up here?
I have topics around all of these things, the other thing is, core values, SOPs, KPIs, everything. I can kind of make everything into 3s, the trifectas of business, and especially with the last 3 that I just mentioned. Like, if you can get, okay, because we operated without SOPs and KPIs, but our culture was there. Okay. You can have SOPs and KPIs, but have a shit culture, and it'll avoid the other 2.
Yeah.
Because no one's going to buy into the SOPs or the KPIs. But if you have a good culture, you can actually get away for a while without actually, it depends on how large your company is.
Well, I agree with you on that point because, and not to take away your total time.
No, go ahead.
That when you get into KPIs and SOPs and all that, listen, it tends to be tedious and long.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what we have done is we'll go down a road, right? And something will come up. I'll be like, hey, can you document? Somebody will type it up real quick. Send it to Mason. Now, he built an employee portal that we put all that stuff on.
Nice.
So it's easily accessible.
Yep.
With our healthcare or whatever, all of our numbers for the month, and so having that, like what you just said, is it you need the culture and you need the other ones, but the culture allows you to go and say, hey, what do you think about this?
Yeah.
So you
and
find
build it together.
what did I say from the beginning?
Yeah.
You go up to people and be like, hey, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Or how would you
Right.
handle that?
Like our core values, even though I didn't run around and say to everybody, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? What do you think of that? I pulled something from everybody. So when we rolled our KPIs out, or I'm sorry, our core values out, everybody sitting in that room that day that I broke them out could think of a time or situation that they were like, that's where that came from. That's where that came from. That's where that one came from. This is why we're doing this one, because of that one time.
Yeah, key performance indicators, though. How do you determine them always to be numbers or numbers in the business?
No, it's behaviors.
Okay, so key performance behaviors.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Some of them are behaviors,
Right.
or habits that they should, how many doors did you knock?
Yeah. So,
Or,
I fully agree. Consistency.
yeah.
That's what you're talking about. Right. So in our office, showing up to work, people hold each other accountable. I don't need to do it.
Yeah. No doubt.
I don't need it in my shop. I don't need to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
they hold each other accountable. Where were you at? Oh, you had a great vacation. That's awesome. Welcome back. Now
Mhm.
let's get to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're
Yeah.
nice about it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. We picked your slack up.
yeah.
I'm leaving next week. So, so hurry up, get your head wrapped around some shit so you can pick up my slack so I can leave.
Right. Consistency.
Yeah.
Like, and like having also when you talk about the everybody getting along,
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to those people leaving and me going in and saying, hey, we're going to have to black out a period of time because we're extremely busy.
Mm-hmm.
Then they all go, okay, so give me the parameters of that, because people get like, for us, August 1 through the end of September
Mhm.
is just nuts. November 1st to the end of December, nuts,
Mhm.
crazy.
Mhm.
So you have to kind of black out those time periods so they don't take days off.
Yeah.
Okay. They'll complain about it, but none of them ever used it. But because you took something, they feel you took something away. You know what I mean? Or I get a better rate down at the beach in September. Well, I'm sorry, you joined the company that we make, 30% of our money
Mm-hmm.
in the 2-month period.
Yeah.
But they'll talk about it. And if everybody else doesn't complain about it, then all of a sudden that, you know what I mean? Like they'll start putting that in their pocket.
Yep.
And basically it's your employees saying, well, if you don't like it, get out, we'll find somebody else.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. And
So-
David just said, public speaking is one of his, big, not fears, but that's him stepping out of his comfort zone.
David.
Yeah. Bruno.
Wow.
Believe it or not. Yeah. But I have another speaking engagement coming up at the construction York Southern PA. I can't
Business
remember.
owners or something like that?
No, it's for the York Builders Association
Oh.
is hosting their second annual construction expo.
Mm-hmm.
Wish I knew the exact name for it. South Central PA's Construction Expo, I believe.
And you're
October 8th,
speaking?
October 8th.
You're speaking?
Yeah, 8
Yeah.
a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's free admission. So anybody, and there will be some vendors there, some local vendors, I think John H. Myers will be there and people like that. Vendors will be there. And Lori hooked up some speakers. It's going to be good for a lot of people in the trades.
What music are you coming out to?
What music?
Yeah. What music are they?
Probably. What's that? The Eye of the Tiger thing? Yeah.
Okay.
Vic will have the,
Showing your age there.
Yeah. Sorry. All right. So I think we're about an hour into this. So
Sorry about that.
let's right. No, it's okay. All right. What an awesome time I always have with you, dude.
Dude, today's the first time I sat and listened. Like you're on a roll. Like I just let you go.
Really?
Like, you're on a roll today. Once you
Okay.
got started, I step in and then you'd step on me.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Ty. Keep talking
It's all
because
right.
I'm enjoying
It's
it.
all right.
It's all right.
Well, I'm excited you're here.
It's good to be back. I miss you guys.
Yeah, me too.
The life caught up with us, but I still I try to keep in touch.
I know.
You know
There
what I
you
mean?
go.
He's
Yeah.
down fishing.
Yeah.
Did you get any flounder? I didn't get it.
Vic caught a flounder this year. Or was that last year?
No, we're
Last
not
year?
talking.
Damn it, Tom.
You caught flounder, but you didn't bring
No.
us any.
Most of them I throw back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most of them I'll throw back. That's
Well,
just
there's people starving. Just not me.
Just saying.
Vic,
That's it. Me either. I do love fish and I love flounder. Flounder's one. of
why'd you look at me like that? Okay.
But before we wrap this up, though, I just want to you know, I want to take a second to thank everybody and thank you.
Yeah.
You know, every single one of you who has listened to this and shared, you know, and commented and, you know, shared this. I know like Zach Fisher, David Burneau, the list goes on. I mean, I could just, all the people that are in here right now, just thank you for being here since day one. Some of you have been here from day one, and have shared the shit out of this, and to all of our guests who have given us, you know, their time, shared their wisdom and their stories. And, you know, my team, my family, big shout out to Jana, who probably shares the shit out of this every weekend. And Lauren, you know, little do we know. And you know, we manually, organically, she'll share it to every, you know, roofing Facebook group out there. So thank you, you know, Lauren and Jana, come hell or high water, no matter what she's doing. If she's not there with us, she's wherever she is in the world, she's sharing this. And today, her and Skylar, my granddaughter, Mackenzie's daughter, are probably watching this at home, sitting on the couch right now. And she's yelling, Papaw, Papaw, that's Papaw. So I wouldn't be doing any of us, you know, I would be doing us a disservice if I didn't mention Skylar's name right now. So hi, Skylar, if you guys are out there watching, I know you are, but here's the truth. You know, the next 300 episodes, they're going to be even better. And we're going to keep building people. We're going to keep growing the community, and we're going to keep pushing the industry forward together. Okay. If this show has made an impact on you or anybody, do me a favor, share this episode with somebody in your crew, leave us a review, tag us on social media, and tell us your favorite Behind the Tool Belt moment so far. I'd love to hear it. I would really post it in the comments, or just tag us in an episode that was one of your favorites. And thank you again for riding along with us, you know, for 300 episodes. I can't wait to see what the next 300 will bring.
I just want to say, Ty, congratulations. And the one thing I've always loved about this show, and it's something I live by too, that you're not here to make an impression, you're here to make an impact. And it's huge to me and to everybody that watches it. So
right on. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
And you're a big part of that.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that.
This is some of your legacy too.
Wow.
Just so you know that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't throw that out there like that. But I appreciate it because you've done all the work.
No
I mean, I just come along for the ride because it's nice to be able to tell people you have friends like you.
No doubt. Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
Well, thank you. And thank you for everybody for listening. And till next week, take care of each other and enjoy this warm weather that I think we're going to have for the next few days. So